Oh my god, there were some big results.
Hat-tricks out the wazoo.
Let's talk about Kai Havertz.
Wasteman.
The rules are unclear and they are not consistent. That's what pisses people off about VAR.
I think it's a pen.
But then if that's a pen, then Eze against you was a pen.
Yeah, Roy Keane was that guy. Ryan Giggs was that guy. Paul Scholes was that guy. You're meant to be this guy. Fucking stop kissing each other's players, man. Just beat people.
Welcome back to BoreDraw, episode 60. And it's been a little while since you've seen our beautiful faces. We had a little bit of a hiatus. Took a couple weeks holidays.
Two holidays, two illnesses.
He's been ill, but we're back. And today it's episode 60, man. We are flying through these episodes.
Come on.
I hope you guys enjoyed our episode with Don Robbie. Big shout out to AFTV and all them, man. Really
Thank you for everyone
it.
showing support. And still, the giveaway is running because 2 weeks have gone in the Prem since that's happened. And Martinelli, our boy, sadly hasn't got himself on the score sheet.
He's had some opportunities, some decent
Sadly
performances.
for us, or sadly for me as an Arsenal fan, he hasn't got on the score sheet. But luckily for you guys at home, every time he doesn't get on the score sheet, the giveaway goes on for another week, gives you more of a chance to get involved. Let your pals know. All you need to do is follow us and AFTV, repost the giveaway tweet. I get confused now. Can you call them tweets? Because it's not even Twitter anymore.
The X.
Yeah, because I was like, retweet this tweet, and then I clocked. There's not even a tweet anymore, but who cares? That's neither here nor there. And subscribe to our YouTube, and then you're entered.
And you also get loads of great content when you subscribe, so it's a win-win for everyone. And you give yourself a nice chance of winning a signed Gabriel Martinelli shirt. That's mental.
That is mad.
That will look very good in your bedroom. I'm sure if you've got
in
a
your
wife,
girl's bedroom,
if your wife might be very
when
happy.
My guy wins the Ballon d'Or, you're going to have a Ballon d'Or winning signed shirt.
Yeah, and it will have made an appearance on AFTV. So, like, what more can you want?
Come
Get involved, because it's a prize definitely worth winning. But today we are here to talk about the madness that was game week 4 of the Premier League. And oh my God, there were some big results. There were some controversial decisions. VAR doing what VAR does every week.
Hat-tricks out the wazoo.
Farcical
Indeed. But
yeah.
Actually, I don't think it was that farcical, but we'll get on to that. As we're talking about Martinelli, should we start with the Arsenal-Man United game?
Yeah, the biggest fixture of the weekend, the highlight.
Arguably, is it the biggest fixture in English football?
No.
I think it actually might be.
No.
What is?
Well, you're talking about big in terms of like rivalry.
In terms of rivalry, in terms of like always good. Like Chelsea-Liverpool is a good game, but it's always is a good fixture in its essence.
On paper, yeah, but it's never a good
crap.
Game.
Whereas so, Man United-Arsenal is always just a banger.
I like the previous one was Liverpool City. For me, that was like for 3-4 years. That was the GOAT fixture.
Just in terms of like quality, the quality was high.
We would watch that game. We'd watch that game, and we would literally be like, "It's like watching a different league."
But like the managers want to fucking kiss each other. All the players fancy each other. Like Van Dijk and De Bruyne's kids go to school together. It just doesn't have like the beef.
I think this fixture it had an intensity to it. You could see on Sunday there was an intensity to this game, which is sort of being sterilised from the Premier League, especially with the new rules being introduced where like you only have one person standing in the technical area, and also like the players are all hugging and kissing before games without wanting to sound too much like Roy Keane or get headbutted.
Did you see that?
Mental.
So funny.
But yeah, it is a little bit. We might have lost a bit of the grit of the game, but perhaps that's just the way it's going. But for me, there was an intensity in this game. There was tackles flying in, and it had all the drama of a great Premier League game.
It did.
But I don't know whether it is the biggest fixture. It's not the biggest fixture, but it might be the most intense game.
Pose that to you. At the beginning of the season, when all the kind of fixtures get announced, and I guess the biggest fixture kind of depends on who you support. But like, as a neutral, what game are you looking at and thinking, when is that? Because that is a banger. Because for me,
my 2 games, that I'm looking out for are always Man City Liverpool, and at the minute Man City Arsenal. But the problem with Man City Arsenal is that
we get slapped about.
Well, when it matters. I'm just kidding, but am I? The Community Shield was obviously a good game, actually. But when it matters in the Prem, Man City just seem to have too much. They're so in control, aren't they? And they don't rise to the occasion. They are the occasion. But
They are the one who knocks.
So Arsenal versus Man United, obviously a great result for Arsenal.
Banger.
Worrying times for Ten Hag
Big
and
time.
Man United, even without everything that's surrounding the club at the minute in terms of Jadon Sancho and Anthony. But for me,
Mason Greenwood, yeah.
Yeah, what really struck me in these lineups were Arsenal's lineup is head and shoulders above what Man United's was. They had their back line that was so good last season, their best back line.
Yeah.
Obviously, you have Jurriën Timber out, Thomas Partey's out, Gabriel Jesus has only just recovered from injury, so he only had a short cameo at the end, goal scoring cameo. Man United's lineup, a DM pivot of Casemiro and Eriksen. That's horrendous.
In the modern game, Jesus Christ, between them, they got as much mobility as my dead nan.
I think Casemiro is good, but I think he's regressed since last season. I think he came with something to prove, and now I don't think he cares as much.
If Man United control the game, which they actually don't do a lot for a team as big as Man United, but if they do, if they play like a really poor team, he's okay. If they get a team that is going to run them around, run them ragged, Casemiro just gets burnt.
And so I'll start with the goalkeeper as well. Onana has not filled me with confidence since he's joined. I don't.
He was a weird one in that game,
and he was. Every single plate started from him, and I get what they're trying to do, but he was so involved. I'm like, you're asking teams to come at you, which is what they want to do. They want to draw teams forward so they can get the balls in behind.
Yeah.
For Rashford and for Anthony and even Martial to run onto. But Arsenal's press was so organised that they weren't allowing the spaces in behind. They were keeping it sort of compact in the middle, but drawing the Man United players with them. Onana, every time he gets the ball, I'm worried. Because I think he's going to try to do some step overs and whatever.
He does have a bit of that bozo gene, doesn't he? Where it's like you will cock it up.
And his shot stopping is good, and I think he made a couple of decent saves. But like he's nowhere near. He's nowhere near an Alisson. I don't even think he's better than Edison.
Oh, he's definitely not better than Edison.
So like, I'd
say he's probably on Ramsdale's level.
He's worse shot stopper than De Gea though.
Yeah, but way better ball player.
Yeah, and it's obviously important to the game. Their back four was Aaron Wan-Bissaka.
Yep.
They had Lindelof.
Yep.
He was all right, but that dodgy.
Not really inspired.
Not really inspired. Him and his partner in defence, Lisandro Martinez, two silly yellow cards, which almost lost them the game in the sense because they both went off.
Yeah.
Left back Diego Dallo, who I thought was actually quite good.
Had a good game, yeah.
Thought he kept Saka quiet to an extent. But yeah, that midfield of Casemiro and Eriksen. Just it's got nothing going for it.
Yeah,
nothing going for it. Bruno Fernandes, I thought was all right.
I thought he was fucking shit.
I think he's
I
always.
I want to get on Bruno Fernandes.
Even Kevin De Bruyne calls him the best playmaker in the league.
He is so bad. Like every time I watch him, I swear all he does is little jogs between sitting on the floor and moaning. He'll lose the ball, sit on the floor, moan that he should have been given a foul, then jog a bit. Get the ball, should have been fouled again, sit on the floor. It's like, mate, you are the captain of Man United Football Club, arguably the biggest club in the world. You should be dictating every single game by yourself, pretty much. You should be that guy. Roy Keane was that guy. Ryan Giggs was that guy. Paul Scholes was that guy. You're meant to be this guy. And you were when he first came into the team. He was dictating games by himself. What's happened to him?
Well, behind him, he's got Casemiro and Eriksen, which we already said is it's no good. It's like
how can they have invested so much money and got worse?
And then they had Marcus Rashford on the left, which is fine in his best position. He looked dangerous at times, but didn't really get enough. They didn't have enough of the ball to sort of allow him to do what he has to do. Anthony on the right, I don't really know what he does.
Waste man.
Apart from maybe attack people,
specifically females.
But he gets the ball. You just show him onto his right foot, and he can't do anything.
He's not strong either, so he's not like Saka.
He's not fast either.
If you're like, not that Saka's one-footed, but you know what Saka wants to do. He wants to cut inside on his left, but he's so strong that
Saka can beat players. I'm yet to see Anthony actually like take people on consistently.
Yeah, well, Saka's not very good at like one-on-one skills, which is what Anthony has, but. It's all good doing that, but you need to be strong enough that, like, if they can't body to body, you can spin around them. He's so weak that he just gets fucking pushed about like a little batty.
And then you've got Martial starting up top, which in
2023 is a myth.
Because
the guy's
he's washed. He should go to like Besiktas.
He should be in Saudi Arabia right now.
And then on the bench, I looked through that bench and I went, you got Højlund on the bench, which he looked all right when he came on.
He actually looked really good. I was actually quite impressed.
Yeah, he did look good when he came on. Garnacho was good as well when he came on, but the rest of that bench was stinky.
Yeah.
And it's like, you've obviously, I know you've got injuries to Mason Mount, to Rafael Varane.
And you signed in Amrabat.
Amrabat as well. Who else they got missing?
I don't even know.
Where's
Jadon Sancho?
Oh, yeah, where's Jadon Sancho? But yeah, and even those 3 years played back in,
squad,
it's still not like, I don't think Mason Mount being in that team would have made a difference to the game.
No.
The only one that I think would have made a difference is Højlund was on from the start, but probably wasn't fit enough to. And yeah, Varane definitely would be starting. And so if you Luke Shaw.
Yeah, that's
true. So yeah, Varane, Luke Shaw, and you bring Mason Mount in and start Højlund, I think this game is different. And so maybe you have to look at it with those sort of respective glasses. But Arsenal also missing Jurrien Timber, Thomas Partey. Yeah. They had a semi-fit Gabriel Jesus. But for the most part, it was pretty much the team that started the season last year, with the exception of Xhaka and Rice. Havertz and Rice.
Yeah.
So for me, it was Arsenal were at a much higher strength than Man United, but I wasn't fully impressed with Arsenal.
I don't think we were that good.
I think you rested on your laurels a bit. I think you dominated the game, but you didn't do too much with it.
I texted Katie and I was like, if we don't win this game, I'm going to be fuming. Because this is like the first time in a while that I've gone into an Arsenal versus Man United game just so confident. I was like, we are so much better than them. Every game I've watched of them this season, they've looked terrible. And every game I've watched of us, I haven't been like impressed majorly by any of the games we've played, but we've just consistently played at a 7 or 8 out of 10.
And those games were with Mikel Arteta experimenting. I know he's sort of dismissed that. He's not experimenting. But for me, you're playing Partey at right back when you've got Ben White. Like, I don't really know. Like, Ben White is the best right back
I just think our base level is so much higher than theirs. And so I wasn't stressed going into the game. And as the game grew on, we weren't converting our chances. Like that one that Havertz missed in like the 20th minute or something where he completely scuffed his shot. Declan Rice missed an open header. So I was like,
Gabriel missed one as well, I think.
Like the more and more that was happening, I was like, all they're going to do is counter-attack and get a Marcus Rashford goal, which is what they did. But luckily, immediately after, we put together one of the nicest passages of play.
It was brilliant. Man United were caught like unaware, weren't they?
Mate. And yeah, put together a nice little 1-2 between Martinelli and...
They do say you're most vulnerable when you just scored.
And Odegaard finished that. What a boy. And then from then onwards, we just completely dominated the game. But
you didn't make it count.
I don't know. I just don't... As much as I like Nketiah, and I think he's a really good finisher, and I do really like what he does, he puts in a lot of effort. I don't see him like shy away from the game. He's always throwing himself about, bullying defenders. But you saw when Gabriel Jesus comes on...
The difference.
He just attracts football. Like, around him, players kind of panic because they don't know what he's going to do. He's so unpredictable. He's so techie on the ball that he can make chances out of nothing. The ball sticks to him like a magnet. And so when he gets the ball in the final third, yeah, you might not be worried that he's going to fucking put it in the bottom corner every time like Nketiah will, but he is going to attract so many more chances. And
I think as well,
he's just a chance magnet.
Gabriel Jesus is much smarter in the build-up. His position is better. He knows where he has to be. And that's not even just for him to be able to create a goal scoring opportunity for himself, but to get players like Martinelli, Odegaard into positions where they're going to have time and space to take a shot, or they're going to have open space coming at the back post. He knows he thinks about the game on a much higher level than Nketiah does, and whether that's just experience or that's his just natural ability, probably a bit of both. He does bring something way different to this team.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Kai Havertz. This is his 4th game week now, and I'm yet to see anything which suggests that he is going to suddenly become good.
Yeah, wallahi, I want him to be good. Because I've slandered him for so long, and I'd love the story that he comes to Arsenal, brings it back. And every game so far in the Prem, I put a bet on him to score, just to kind of like egg it on a little bit.
Vindicate it, yeah.
And he's let me down every single time. And I'm watching the game. I think he was okay in this game. I thought last game against Fulham, he was terrible. He was slightly better in this game, but still... I don't know if he's just trying too hard. I saw Dimitar Berbatov come out and say that he wants Havertz to succeed, but at the moment he sees Havertz as like trying too hard.
Yeah,
he's not
trying to force it to happen.
Whereas like when he was at Leverkusen, He was young, had like no kind of weight on his shoulders.
I think he's definitely feeling the pressure.
And I think since he's moved to the Prem, the whole Chelsea move was like 70 mil to one of the biggest teams in the world. That automatically is a pressure move. And then he's had a shit time there.
Basically lived off a Champions League goal.
And then we buy him to kind of restart his career. So there's a new level of pressure going to like London rivals as well. So I think he's had a lot of pressure on him during his time in England. But he's either got to get over that pressure or use that pressure to his advantage, because at the moment he's not doing enough.
I look at it and I think I know what Mikel Arteta is trying to do as well. Like, Man City's team are massive. They're all like 6 foot freaks in nature, and he's trying to replicate that to a sense. He brought in Declan Rice. Julian Timber's not small either. Like, he's not small for a wing back anyway. Havertz is a quite a big player.
He is,
and
he wins duels.
Yeah, he's not bad. He can bring the ball down. He's a platform to play off. I just wonder though, like, Emile Smith-Rowe, would he not be just more effective in that 8 role? Like, you dominate games so much. You've got Declan Rice as that screen in front of your back four.
Oh, God.
You've got like fantastic defensive line of Gabriel, Saliba, Ben White, Zinchenko, or whoever plays in there. You don't need, like, Havertz in doing defensive work anyway. And Smith-Rowe is better on the ball. I think he's got more output than Havertz. Give him time. Or even Fabio Vieira, mate. He's class.
Come on.
He's class.
He is, isn't he?
And he's not really had an opportunity apart from coming off the bench.
And when he comes off the bench, he delivers. I think he's 4 assists in 4 bench sub appearances. Yeah.
So for me, I think it's time just to maybe say, look, Kai, sit back a minute.
Yeah.
Come on and be that man who could change the game for a bit until you get your confidence back. You come off the bench, you score a couple goals over a couple games.
I'm hoping when Champions League rolls through and FA Cup and Carabao Cup start rolling through and there's more games a week, that he will start tinkering. Maybe we see Smith-Rowe have a really good Champions League night, or because Champions League's on and he wants to use Havertz in the Champions League, we see Smith-Rowe in the Prem, or etc. So I think once we start playing more than once a week, he's going to have to start using
the dynamic does change.
The squad a bit more.
But yeah, very interesting.
Talk about the Declan Rice goal. So it comes from a corner. At this stage of the game, how are Man United in 2023 playing a centre-back pairing of Johnny Evans and Harry Maguire?
It's because Lisandro Martinez and Lindelof picked up silly yellow cards. Well, Lindelof wasn't silly. They just got caught out, didn't they? And he made a tackle.
So funny, though.
Tried to head his boot.
Johnny Evans and fucking...
But yeah, I think Lindelof actually went off due to illness or something as well. Like, that was what they stated anyway. But yeah, Johnny Evans and Harry Maguire, you're asking for trouble. I actually don't mind Johnny Evans.
I think he's all right. He's just nowhere near...
But he's not top 6 standard.
Yeah, he can't be playing for Man United.
And yeah, so you're watching the build-up to the goal, and initially I thought Johnny Evans was being fouled by Gabriel. But then I watched back the entire replay, and you see he's jostling with Gabriel. It's basically 50-50.
Yeah,
like you can't argue about it.
He's just angry that he's spending his time. Harry Maguire
is just standing there watching it. So and
Harry Maguire's a joker, man.
How is Declan Rice getting that much time?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, so like, Man United are angry that they've let him have that time. It's not that they're angry there's a foul or whatever.
No, but that's what they're clutching at. They're saying that it should have been a foul. It should have been whatever.
It's not.
But
you're angry that you've let the goal scorer at the back post have like 10 minutes to control
that was obviously, but before that, Man United had a goal disallowed for offside. They sort of caught Arsenal semi-lacking, potentially a little bit fortunate. I don't know, like he gets that pass not microsecond earlier, he's through. I thought it was a really good finish from him.
Yeah.
And it was brilliant play. I've seen a lot of Man United fans saying the lines don't line up.
I've learned that a lot of Man United fans don't understand how parallel lines work.
Yeah, or just how perspective works.
Just go back to year 6 maths. Do just some trigonometry.
Specsavers. Yeah. So bad. The problem is though, I looked at it and I was like, oh, it's just a bit boring though, isn't it? Like now
it saves me a heart attack.
Anytime someone scores, it's like, wait for the referee to decide if we can celebrate or not, and it takes it out of it. And for me, I was pro VAR to a point. I was like, if you can get it working, I understand it makes games fairer, but it's taking a little bit of the beauty out of the game. It
is a little bit wank. Like if I was a Man United fan, I'd be so gutted. But as an Arsenal fan, seeing that get chalked off, because I actually thought it was offside the moment it happened, and then it took them ages, and I was like, they're gonna fucking find an angle where he's onside. But
we've strayed so far from it being only used when it's clear and obvious error.
Yeah.
If that's given on the pitch, that's not a clear and obvious error because it's not clear. Yeah. And it's not obvious. like, you play that goal 10 times out of 10 without VAR, and it's probably given 7 times out of 10. So it's not.
But then is it like it was only let through because the linesman is told not to put his flag up? Like, would the
which is also stupid because the linesmen don't put their flag up, and players go in for tackles and shit, and they're going to end up getting injured.
But
which
like,
is another
like every goal, if we're saying don't put the flag up, then we're saying every goal is pretty much a goal because you haven't put the flag up. You can't retrospectively put the flag up.
Yeah, it needs to be worked out. But what are we, like 3-4 seasons now with VAR, and we're still having just simple issues? And like, why can't they provide a second camera angle to dismiss all this? Do you know what I mean? Why are we not getting savvy to the communication that's going on behind the scenes? Like, if you want us to sit there and wait for 5 minutes for you to make a decision, at least let us know what you're talking about.
Come on.
Like, it is getting to a point where it's just like, is it just Mike Dean just like doing his mates a favour or whatever? Like,
you see, he was on the punditry team. I was just like,
referees, they are not the stars of the game. They are not the stars of the game.
Like,
they are overprotected. They are far overprotected, and like the referees that think they're superstars,
they look like nonces.
I don't know about that, but like,
ruined my holiday.
The best referees are the ones that you don't notice in the game.
Yeah,
they allow the games to flow. They're on with their decisions, and they're understandable. They don't make a big fuss about things. You shouldn't notice referees there. And for me, they're way too protected now. Like, I don't like this thing where players can't go up to them. I understand what they're doing, but like,
I hate it.
You can't have you can't be like a second player talking to the referee now. You get a booking.
Yeah, if you're the third one or something.
Yeah, if you're the third player, like, what you meant to do? Just sorry, like, go up to your teammate, you drag him over and say, sorry, it's my turn to talk to him.
Yeah,
like, we're losing that bit of viciousness in the game, which makes it good.
Yeah.
And I understand that we need to be able to protect our players and our referees, and referees shouldn't go home and get death threats and stuff. But is this helping?
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, for me, the VAR team got it right. They got every decision right. The Havertz penalty wasn't a penalty. Because the only thing I don't understand about that is, like, if it's not a penalty, then why is he not given for a dive?
Yeah, but like, how is he not meant to go down? He gets like sandwiched by 2 players.
So then, is it a penalty?
What is it like if you go down in the box under contact? Is it a pen? Even if it's
reasonable contact.
Yeah.
But if he's got the ball, and he's played it through, and he's in control of the ball, and then he gets sandwiched out of the ball.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think it's a pen.
But then if that's a pen, then Eze against you was a pen.
Yeah, I suppose.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's the same. But then also, on the flip side, if he's already going down or he's looking for the contact, why is it not a yellow card?
Yeah, I don't know.
The rules are too unclear. Same with the Luton game. Why is that not a penalty against James Ward-Prowse? The ball clearly comes off his arm, and I know he can't see the flight of the ball, but does the law not state that if the arm is outside the body's natural silhouette, then it's a penalty?
It does.
Any contact, and they changed that from any contact with the arm, which was absolute rubbish, because you could literally have your arms behind your back, and if you turned or whatever, or like, I don't know, but the rules are unclear, and they are not consistent, and that's what pisses people off about VAR. But should we talk about what this means for Man United?
Yeah, what does it mean for Man United? We said Ten Hag out.
You said Ten Hag by Christmas.
I said Ten Hag
and Corridor said Ten Hag by Christmas,
and it's looking like we might be right.
I don't think so.
I'm seeing turmoil in the camp. I'm seeing
there's just not a lot of good stuff going on about Man United
beef
right
in
now.
the camp. I'm seeing.
I mean, they're paying for like half the wages of Mason Greenwood.
James Sancho's out here beefing the manager. He's going to be on that fucking what's that?
Piers Morgan show.
No, the kind of is a different Neek. Life of a CEO that had Ivan Toney on it and Jesse Lingard. He's going to be on there soon.
Yeah,
Stephen Bartlett, is that his name?
Oh, maybe, yeah. But the thing is, it's like they have spent a lot of money, and people are complaining that the Glazers aren't putting money back in. But they've bought Anthony last season, which was like £70. The season before that, they bought in Jadon Sancho, which was like 60-70 million anyway. They bought in Holland for what was it, 65 million?
All of them about 70 million.
Who else? Mason Mount, 60 million.
Yeah.
Onana, 45 million. Where's Malacia? They bought him in last season. It wasn't expensive, but they still bought him in. They're paying the wages of someone like Casemiro, Varane, who can't be cheap wages.
Yeah, they got to be about 300 grand each.
It's not like they're not getting anyone.
Yeah.
They're keeping hold of Mason Greenwood. They've still not Mason Greenwood, Marcus Rashford. They are keeping hold of Mason Greenwood, which is disgusting. Yeah. But yeah, they're keeping.
Fuck Getafe every single time. All my homies hate Getafe.
Did you see Sergio Ramos?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's hope he does a favour.
Him or Jude, just go crunch him.
But yeah, they still got Marcus Rashford on their books when he was getting sniffed at by like PSG and everyone. They've got Bruno Fernandes still, who would probably get a move to another top 6 club or Real Madrid or someone like that. They're keeping hold of their players for a reason, because they're getting paid enough money.
Yeah.
They're bringing in players. So, like, I don't understand this. I think
my issue with Man United is the recruitment is so poor. And so they've invested loads. But for me, their squad isn't... I don't know if I could categorise it as worse than a couple of years ago under Ollie. But I'd say it's still like 5 or 6 players away from getting to Liverpool, Arsenal, Man City level.
I think with their
I don't think they've got a settled squad at all, like a settled first 11, and I don't think they have a good enough depth. So they're still about 5 or 6 transfers away.
For me, like, I think it would be unproven, but when they get their back 4 back, so they've got Onana, they've got Wan-Bissaka, Varane, Lisandro Martinez, and Luke Shaw. I think that's decent. That's not bad at all. That's a back 4 that can challenge for top 4. If they get a midfield pairing going of like Amrabat and Casemiro with Bruno in there, I think that's good. Actually, like Amrabat's still a bit unproven. He had a really good World Cup, and by all accounts, he was really good at Fiorentina, and he had a lot of clubs sniffing around him. But
absolutely,
Premier League's a different beast.
In the Europa League.
And then they've got options of bringing in Mason Mount. Rashford's a really good option on the left. Holland, we were pretty impressed with. And it's that right hand side. Anthony doesn't do it for me, but for me, the team will be better when they have all their players back. It's not a crazy thing to say, is it? The team's gonna be better when they have all their players back, but I don't think it's a finished article yet. And I think the style of play he's trying to implement is probably one that takes a very long time. And he hasn't had the players there. Like, he had to adapt it last season because he couldn't do what he wants to do with De Gea.
Yeah, maybe.
So
I'm not inspired.
But yeah, it's got to happen quick. It's got to change quick because things can go sour very quickly.
The fans are circling the...
What game should we talk about next?
Should we take a little break and then talk about the hat-trick heroes?
We'll talk about the hat-trick heroes.
A hat-trick of hat-tricks.
A hat-trick of hat-tricks indeed.
Which one should we start?
My boy, Evan Ferguson.
What a guy. What a fucking guy.
He is crazy. Fortunately injured for international duty.
Yeah, I think it's probably one of those injuries.
But I've seen a lot of England fans hoping that he will follow Jack Grealish, Declan Rice, Jude Bellingham.
I can't see him.
He seems like he's very much, and I respect him for it.
Irish.
But he is so good. He is outrageous.
He's that guy, isn't he? He's
Harry Kane regen, bro.
He's just, the way he moves, he's so big and powerful.
But he's elegant.
Yeah, he's kind of like Haaland, but a bit more elegant. And I love it. I think he's so good.
He's switched on all
18
the time.
years old, mate. He's crazy.
Yeah, he's switched on all the time. He's not afraid to take a shot from distance. We saw him pop a couple in. He's good with both feet. He's got a good head on him. Like, he's a monster. He's got all the attributes there to go on and be one of the top strikers in the world. And he's playing under a fantastic manager in a fantastic Brighton team who've just gone and beaten Eddie Howe's semi-high flyer in Newcastle 3-1. And
what a game.
They were outrageous. Brighton was so good.
Brighton absolutely battered them. I've made a note on the game here. I put, are Newcastle overrated?
They've had a really hard start to the season. I mean, how they lose a 1-0 lead, was it 1-0 lead to Liverpool with 10 men?
10 men, yeah. Stinks.
That's outrageous.
That's a stinker. The 1-0 loss to Man City is fair enough.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
And 3-1 to Brighton. Any team can get pumped by Brighton. They are one of the best teams in the league.
Yeah.
But the manner of it just didn't fill me with confidence. Like, 3-1 makes it seem closer than it was. Newcastle got a consolation goal in the 95th minute or whatever it was.
Callum Wilson.
Brighton should have scored more. It should have been about 5-1.
Yeah, and for me, it was a semi-tactical masterclass from De Zerbi. I thought the way Brighton set up is the way they set up every game. But they had slight changes in their system, which allowed them to negate the players that have an impact. Like their midfield, the midfield of Tonali and Bruno
got absolutely shagged.
They couldn't do anything. They had no influence on the game. They kept Trippier really quiet as well.
Yeah, I've put if Newcastle don't overpower teams physically, what do they actually do?
They can't play against a better press than theirs.
Yeah, is their style of play
a team that's press resistant
or even tactically more astute? Like if they're getting played around, or if like Brighton did, do they have a remedy that isn't just let's physically outmuscle you?
I don't know. I'm yet to see them sort of play differently to how they do. They seem to have a plan A.
Yeah.
And
which is good against, like, that's why they batter most like teams below them, because
they've
most
got
teams
better
in the league,
quality.
all you need to do is have slightly better quality and then physically just dominate them, and you win pretty much every game. But if they're trying to get into the big six, and like Brighton are, you need physically to be dominant like Man City are, but also have the tech, which is what Arsenal and Man City have the tech to go with the physical dominance.
But and also be able to switch it up, and it's right, this isn't working. How can we play against that? Because Brighton are maybe the most press-resistant team in the Premier League.
Yeah, they're sexy.
Like, there's no team that's better at playing out tight spaces than Brighton. And yeah, they're press-resistant. We spoke about this last year. The rondos on the pitch, it's just consistent, isn't it? And it's so beautiful to watch. They are so good. And sometimes it doesn't work, and it can really blow up in their face. And we've seen it happen. They lose 5-1 to Everton or something.
5-1 to Everton, and they lost 3-1 to West Ham.
That was it, yeah.
They had like
20% possession.
Yeah, exactly. So,
but it can go wrong.
Yeah.
And when it goes wrong, it does look kind of spectacular. But yeah, they're just so.
I'd rather
good.
lose spectacularly like once or twice a season and get scalps like beating Newcastle 3-1, beating Arsenal 4-2 when they
as a Arsenal fan, who are you more scared about playing?
Brighton.
No, not out of Brighton, Newcastle. Out of Brighton, Liverpool, and Spurs.
Brighton, Liverpool, and Spurs. Spurs least. Probably still Liverpool. I think I still have like Liverpool trauma.
Yeah.
Whereas like Brighton, I think we are better than them. Like they caught us last season at the end when like the whole season was capitulating, and at that point it was like no one had anything to play for. Everyone was in the changing room crying. So, but when we played them at the like midway of the season, where we were in good form and they were in good form, it was a really good game, but we bodied them off the pitch. I think it finished like 4-2 or whatever. But so I do think we're better than them. Whereas Liverpool, we had a good game against them last season, but it was shaky. And so I think Liverpool is my main worry out of those three, and then Brighton, then Spurs.
I think Liverpool are better than last season as well.
Liverpool are better than last season.
Yeah, it's early doors, but
I think they're 18 games without a loss at the moment, or something.
They are also just.
I think they're
looking terrifying on
like
the pitch.
The best form team in the world. At the moment,
if they can stave off Saudi and keep Salah.
Yeah, if they lose Salah, that is a madness.
We'll talk about that. We're going to be releasing a transfer window rating video on Saturday.
Come on.
So stick around for that. We will talk about potential loss of Salah to Saudi and how that might impact Liverpool. But for me, if they keep him, I like Darwin Núñez a lot. I think he brings a lot to the team. And Luis Diaz as well, he's exceptional. And then they've got the likes of Jota to bring off the bench.
Yeah.
I
think Liverpool good. But yeah, I think Brighton, they're a scary team.
Yeah, they are a scary team. But yeah, Evan Ferguson, you're a top player. And I just want him to...
I want him to come to Arsenal.
I want him to just keep smashing it. He's fantastic. Let's talk about another man who managed to get a cheeky little three-pointer, a little hat-trick against... Vincent Kompany's Burnley.
Burnley looks shit.
Burnley are in trouble.
I thought they would be all right, but even that first game against Man City, I know they lost it.
They looked all right.
But they looked all right. But they are getting progressively worse. Like, fair play Spurs. I think I've got another note here. Made some notes on the football this weekend. Are Spurs playing the best football in the league? Pose that to everybody out there, because I think Arsenal's football isn't like particularly great at the moment.
Worse than last season.
I don't think Man City's is like particularly like better than last season or worse than last season.
I think they're trying to find a way to go forward.
I think maybe it's Liverpool or Spurs for me,
or Brighton.
Maybe Brighton, yeah. But yeah, I really like what Spurs are doing. I I think it all stems from, finally, there's another note I've got here. Finally, they have a balanced midfield. We've been saying it for ages. Fuck off 3 at the back. Fuck off playing 2 midfielders because they haven't got anyone that's good enough quality. Just play with 3 in the middle and watch how good you'll be. Finally, you've got Basuma as a deep lying guy who
looks fantastic.
Mate, probably one of the best players of the season at the moment. Next to him, they binned off Ollie Skip, thank God. They're playing that Mattis Sarr guy. I like him.
Yep.
I think he could be upgraded on.
I think, Bentancur maybe.
Yeah, that's a good shout when Bentancur comes in. Maybe swap him out. And then Maddison, who summer signing
for
of
me,
the season.
Yeah, for me,
what a guy.
Best value sign of the season.
Absolutely dictating. He's doing what Harry Kane was doing creatively, but where Harry Kane dropped deep and so they'd lose a striker, you got Maddison doing it, and then Son's there, so you still have your striker, and Son's so good. He dipped off last season, but Son is quality.
Yeah, I don't think it was ever really doubt that Son was going to be good again at some point. And I hope he can continue this on because I actually like Sonny. He's like one of my favourite players in the
And I think once you've got Maddison feeding Son, you've got 2 wingers that are actually decent wingers in Kulusevski and Solomon.
Yeah, I like Solomon as well.
Yeah,
I think
he had a good game.
I think Solomon's decent.
And so I think,
and Udogie as well, really impressed.
Yeah. I still a little bit like the defence isn't solid, but in a game where...
Especially they get an injury.
I think they're going to outscore teams and... all power to them.
And I think that's what Spurs fans wanted. They wanted to just watch football that was attacking and exciting to watch. Because after a year of like Conte and then Mourinho before that, it's just it must be
ages,
But and Heung-min Son, he is an outrageous player in his day, and his goal scoring form never really dropped off the national team. It was just that last season Spurs were just so poor, and they didn't know their best formation, they didn't know their best team. And it was the Harry Kane show. And that Harry Kane, it was nothing.
Yeah.
And I think this year, if we make Son the main man, he will score goals.
Yeah, I've been offered Richarlison as the striking option, and I'd play Son up top all the time.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, Richarlison, I don't know what's happened to him, but he's got to do it now or never. It's not really a better opportunity now that Harry Kane's left for him to sort of stake his claim as an actual Premier League footballer. But Heung-min Son, what an absolute guy. I think he's John Stone's favourite player as well. I saw a little video. John Stone's being like, I love Sonny. Sonny is just the nicest guy.
Fucking hate that.
But, Heung-min Son's a sick guy, man.
Just fucking stop kissing each other's players, man. Just beef people.
Yeah, I do like it when they beef people, though.
Like, I don't really...
You know when Son and Lloris beef?
Yeah, or like, do you know like now Mikel Antonio and Richarlison have beef?
Yeah.
Because... Mikel Antonio dug him out on his podcast. I love shit like that. I don't like that Premier League footballers have a podcast. Like, come on, do one thing. Stop fucking taking up every avenue to make money. Jesus Christ. But just a little bit beef. Stop kissing.
Stop kissing each other.
Come on.
But yeah, Heung-min Son and Spurs. They're looking good. They are. Good. I'm still. They're yet to be really tested. I think.
Well. After the international break, Arsenal have got Everton. I think Spurs have got fuck knows who. And then it's a North London derby.
That's going to be a game to watch. That's going to be such a good game.
Get on that.
And, I can't wait. The
final hat-trick that we want to talk about is, obviously, if we were talking hat-tricks, if there's a hat-trick of hat-tricks in the Premier League, this guy is not going to be involved.
He's replicated his goal-scoring form exactly to what happened last season, which is mental.
Yeah, so Erling Haaland, I didn't even realise he got a hat-trick because I think his last goal was in like the 94th minute.
Yeah.
And so I was obviously like every single human on the planet, I had him captained in fantasy. And I was like, 2 goals is all right. I think he had 2 goals and an assist. And I was like, that's all right. But I was looking at Son and I was like, but then he got another goal and I was like, this guy's just tapped.
He's just too good, man. It's not really fair.
Yeah.
But Fulham... Obviously, they managed to keep Paulinho on deadline day, which was...
Yeah.
But I don't know how happy he is that he didn't get a move to Bayern Munich to play
He wasn't playing that game, which I think just helped Man City majorly.
Yeah.
Also, did you see Man City's Nathan Ake goal, which was definitely offside? Just got given.
Yeah, even Haaland said that. Like, he came out in the interview and was like, And
I was like, what is going on?
VAR is a whole topic for another day. We're going to do a video on that because I want to shout about it. But... Haaland is just going to win the Ballon d'Or. Not the Ballon d'Or.
He actually might win the
Ballon d'Or. But is he going to score more goals than last season?
Yeah.
I think so as well. I think the quality of the teams in the lower half of the Premier League
is
actually worse than last season.
Yeah.
The bottom, I mean, the promoted teams.
I think Watford, we're from Watford, obviously, but Watford must be thanking their lucky stars that they're not in the Prem, because they used to get slapped up by Man City regularly, like 6-7-0, and that was without Haaland. I think if Haaland stumbled across a little Watford, he'd be bagging 5 or 6.
Yeah, I mean, but like, Luton were unlucky to lose to West Ham, I think.
Yeah, I don't think they were that bad that game.
I was quite impressed with Carlton Morris as well. I think he's actually a very good player. But yeah, West Ham were good. West Ham, Paqueta, I was really impressed with. I think he's going to have a really good season. But they were unlucky, but they're just struggling. I don't see it getting better for them anytime soon. Sheffield United were actually not bad against Everton. Cameron Archer's a fantastic signing. I rate him so highly. They were fortunate with the goal that sort of bounced off Pickford in. Pickford's in my fantasy team, and I just don't understand how it can go so wrong.
I think Pickford's such a... Do you see the fucking... So he did a save and like... Yeah. I was like, you're such a fucking tosser, mate. Like,
oh, mate.
Your team is battling relegation again. You've just drawn 2-2 to a newly promoted team. Why are you giving lip? Like, who are you?
Everton are in big trouble. They're in big trouble. They lost Alex Iwobi as well.
The only reason I didn't want them to get relegated is because I like Sean Dyche.
Yeah.
I don't even care about that anymore. I hope they get relegated.
Beto looked quite good when...
he did, actually.
Yeah, he was quite dangerous. But yeah, and then...
They lost Iwobi as well. He's on to Fulham.
Yeah.
So that's another reason I like them.
Who was the other promoted team? Burnley. I just don't see any hope for these 3 promoted teams. The only hope they have is that Everton are worse than them.
Yeah, and Everton and Wolves maybe are pretty stinky.
Wolves are scoring goals though.
Yeah.
And they're looking competitive.
Yeah.
So like
Gary O'Neill for you. And I just don't see 3 teams worse than the 3 promoted teams, apart from Everton, maybe. No.
But I think Everton will like grind out a few results that they just shouldn't do.
Yeah.
Because it's Sean Dyche.
Probably against Arsenal, which is what normally happens.
And
we've actually got them next game, so that'd be great.
After the international break.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening to us ramble about football for the past 40 or so minutes.
It's international break now, which is sad. We've got to deal with Gareth Southgate and his fucking boring...
See the rumours that Pep...
Yeah, like that reeks a little bit, doesn't it? Of kind of like, I don't know, some FA propaganda. But the source was
just like some like Twitter account, and then I read it, and it was like the Daily Mail was like...
Yeah.
Or like...
There's just no way
sports.
The FA would go anywhere near Pep.
Why would Pep want to manage England? Like, or maybe because he wants to like win everything in world football.
Yeah.
But like, surely you get so bored. Like, you only get to manage like once every...
Yeah, I don't think it'd like satiate him enough to like manage that little, and also like how like intricate and everything his tactics are. You can't impart that in like 2 weeks every fucking...
That's why you get tournament managers.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I don't know. But yeah, Gareth Southgate may be leaving after the Euros, but maybe we will talk about that over the international break. Yeah. England having Ukraine and Scotland, which are 2 very exciting games.
Yeah. Hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to get involved in the Martinelli shirt giveaway. Don't even need to be an Arsenal fan. Just retweet the post, follow us on AFTV, and subscribe to the channel. If you win it and you're not an Arsenal fan, fucking bosh it on eBay, mate. We don't care.
Or give it to someone.
Or give it to me. I'd really like it, to be fair, but
that's not how the way.
No,
but yeah,
just get involved. Find an Arsenal fan, give it to them. A hunky dory.
Thank you very much for watching, guys. It's been BoreDraw, episode number 60, and it's live.